Σειρά έχει παρουσίαση με θέμα αλλαγή προς τη διασφάλιση της ποιότητας στην εκπαίδευση. Παρουσιάζει η δόκτωρα Αντρούλα Όθωνος Ζαχαρίου, επιθεωρήτρια προϊσταμένη Κυπριακής Εκπαιδευτικής Αποστολής, σύμβουλος εκπαίδευσης Κυπριακής Υπάτης Αρμοστίας και αντιπρόεδρος του ΕΦΕΠΕ.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Decided to talk in English in order for you to understand better what I want to say and the meanings. Mrs. Pascal has talked us about quality. I'm going to talk about change towards ensuring quality in supplementary education. As you can see in the outline of the presentation, we are going to see an introduction, the reasons for change, quality in education, characteristics of change, key areas of change, school and social context, the role of leadership in change, suggestions, and some conclusions. Number two, Change itself is not something new. People, families, social institutions, complex bureaucracies of financial and government departments, society, nations, and the whole world are involved and affected by change. Our problem, and the problem of those who follow, is how to meet change, to recognize its acceleration and direction, and to develop new ways in which individuals and institutions can cope. We need a much greater knowledge of change itself, its process, and its effects. Number 4. The need for change is directed by the following forces: the necessity of international competitiveness and the effort to respond to the needs of economic competition and profitability. The demand that is directed towards ensuring the value for money, what Mr. Himona said previously, the money invested in education. We have to be sure that the money is spent in good ways. Third is the right of parents to have a choice in the education of their children. The next reason for change is the rapid explosion of knowledge that makes existing knowledge out of date very quickly, and the speed of this explosion of knowledge requires schools to change their traditional role as agents responsible for providing packages of knowledge and skills that will serve a person for life. The next one comes from the new technology. The computer is not supposed to replace the teacher. On the contrary, the teacher is the one that will help the pupil in utilizing the computer and other materials, making them in this way aware of their environment and helping them to become masters of their own learning. The last impetus for change comes from the need to ensure the best quality education offered for our children. Number 5. Managing for quality education raises important questions such as: what is a better quality education? How can quality be evaluated and measured? What steps can be taken to secure quality? There is, of course, a helpful distinction between them: desired quality, professional standards of quality, survival quality, and optimal quality. At the heart of quality are 3 processes: the ability to solve problems, to identify opportunities, and to make judgments. Number 6. Raising the quality of education entails one or more of the following: improving the standards of teaching and teachers' performance, improving the standards of learning and students' performance, and providing more balanced curriculum, as you can see on the slide. Quality has to be built into the way in which a school works. There must be a difference to learning and teaching. One strategy is to encourage colleagues to build monitoring and evaluation into their work. In assessing quality, we can concentrate on 2 dimensions: quality control and quality assurance. Number 7, quality control as outlined by HMI inspections has the following features: focus on outputs and standards of achievement, focus on the quality of learning and teaching, focus on the school's development plan and targets, responsiveness to parental views, and teamwork. Public education systems have had quality assurance in one form or another since their inception over a century ago. Education has always focused on the quality of outcomes to a significant degree, and the quality assurance systems in place today seek to assure the processes responsible for the continuing quality of outcomes. In this sense, quality assurance is seen as more organic, involving everyone in the organization seeking systematically to ensure that standards are constantly improving. As such, quality assurance seems to fulfill the following characteristics as on slide 8. People are trusted to work as professionals. There is a strong emphasis on teamwork. There is a weak emphasis on hierarchy. Goals are clear. Communications are good. Everyone has high expectations of themselves and others, and the organization is fit for purpose. In this context, it's important for the quality assurance reviews to be integrated into the ongoing work of directors of schools and indeed of schools' own ongoing management and their development. Number 9, the role of quality management and quality assurance are complementary, although separate. They are both vital aspects of overall management of quality. Quality management focuses on the actions and structures necessary to manage quality on an ongoing basis. Quality assurance, on the other hand, is the process by which the quality management process itself is assured. Quality assurance in education needs to go beyond this to assure student learning outcomes, although classical quality assurance would not encompass such a direct focus on outcomes. So every quality program must have 4 essential components as described in slide 10. Commitment to change, clear understanding of where the situation of the school is, clear vision of the future, and plan for implementing quality in the school. Characteristics of change, number 11. Change is fearful to many people. The process of change is not neither linear, but interactive, confused and dynamic. Key areas of change. The changes which are already affecting teachers' role have been placed in 3 categories. Technological changes. These developments mean that teachers will no longer need to be regarded as the storehouses of knowledge, but will instead need to be conversant with new equipment to access knowledge, both for their own use and to direct their pupils' learning. Changes in pedagogy. To keep pace with a changing social context, a new model of modern teaching style to a process rather than a product model, and changes in curricular content. Teachers are expected to keep up to date with subject matter, be aware of curriculum project materials, and to take part in curriculum projects. Now, we have to see the school and social context. The discussion of change often proceeds as if the school were in charge of its own destiny and could itself determine what was to be done. However, schools by their very purpose and nature must be deeply involved in and affected by changes in society. No school is just staff and pupils alone. A school must, at least to some extent, meet the expectations of the community at large and of parents in particular. If society changes, so must the school. So schools need to work more closely with parents, become more professional organizations, and become mini communities. All organizations are influenced by an environment which is in constant state of change. Some of this change may be seen as manipulative and threatening, yet one of the major tasks of members of organizations is to adapt to the environment either by changing their own internal structures and procedures or by seeking to find some way of modifying the environment. The former is often the most realistic response. The pressure for change may lie outside the school, but it is the realization of a need to change and a commitment to change which must come from the school itself. The school itself needs to be in the driving seat, with the head teacher providing the necessary leadership. Heads cannot plan and manage successful change alone, but should lead and see themselves responsible for change. The role of leadership in change is very important. From the above, it follows that a new approach to management, slide 14, management known as organization development is extremely important in change. The importance of the leader is that it makes explicit many of the attempts made by organizations to change, and it provides a model of how change can occur. Every organization is an integrated system and must therefore be developed as a whole. Organization is a living organic system. Growth and development take place through the process of education and re-education. The concept of organization development is based on these three assumptions, each of which is demonstrably appropriate to the process of change in schools. Number 15. Heads would need to score highly on two dimensions that are central to leaderships. These are concern for the task and concern for people. In identifying the tasks of management, we can suggest that a good leader should lead by example, slide 16, set the climate for change, promote among staff a view of themselves as learners, work continuously in achieving a fusion of personal and institutional initiatives, be supportive, maintain this support by providing the framework for development, establish internal coordination, and challenge embedded ideas. Coming to suggestions now, it could be argued moreover that the success of any educational effort lies in the learning activities which children experience in the classroom. The organization of these experiences will remain a matter of the professional judgment of teachers. It is in this gap between the hardware and the thousand sensitive, magical moments of classroom learning that staff development finds its home. Perhaps it is because teachers spend most of their time dealing with young people, helping them learn, assessing their needs, looking after their personal and social development, that schools have been often neglected to look after the needs, welfare, and professional development of staff. From this, it follows that professional development is fundamentally an individual change, and if teachers reject the need to change, then all other elements of the process become inconsequential or irrelevant. Therefore, this element of the process aims to assist teachers with the challenges of individual change and understanding their own attitudes to it. Number 17, we can see some tips, the previous, for managing change, and coming to the conclusion now. Quality, had to skip several points because time is running. Quality is the single and most important issue in education, business, and government today. Our students should be prepared to meet the needs of the next generations, and one of these needs is to protect and develop their Greek identity. However, quality is hard work. It requires a commitment to excellence and dedication to purposes and a mission and a willingness to change. Our schools are under constant pressure to change. Education must undergo a paradigm shift. Old norms and beliefs must be challenged. Schools must learn to work with fewer resources. Λάβουμε υπόψη και την κρίση που περνούμε, σίγουρα πρέπει να μπορούμε να αντεπεξέλθουμε με λιγότερες πηγές. Education professionals must help students develop the skills they need to compete in a global economy. Educational authorities, governing bodies, parents associations, educators must learn to work together because the future of the Greek supplementary school is dependent upon everyone working together towards establishing networks of schools targeting the improvement of education offered. If we work hard, we will all recognize the benefits of quality and improvement in every educational process, from managing the classroom and the school to maintaining the buildings and providing all the necessary resources, including the latest IT technology within our schools. Quality is ensured by making sure that each individual has the building blocks necessary to do his or her job properly. With the proper tools, workers will produce products and services that consistently meet customer expectations. School board members and administrators must make the pursuit of quality an educational goal. They should maintain that the basic quality mission of a school is to develop programs and services that meet the needs of the user, i.e. students and society. It will take dedication, focus and a constancy of purpose to improve the quality of education. If the quality of education is to improve, however, the improvement must be led by today's education professionals. What follows is a brief description of implementing a quality framework between schools by Dr. Lambri. This can provide the basis to develop more effective practices to manage quality teaching and improve student learning outcomes through consistency and excellence in practice. Στο σημείο αυτό θα ήθελα να εκφράσω τις θερμές μου ευχαριστίες στην κυρία Λάμπρη για τη στενή υποστήριξη και βοήθεια στη διοργάνωση αυτού του σεμιναρίου. Μια ανακοίνωση από τον Άγιο Ιωάννη, επειδή εκεί καταλήγουν όλα τα βιβλία που έχουμε από την Κυπριακή Εκπαιδευτική Αποστολή και έχουν έρθει από την Κύπρο πάρα πολλά βιβλία, ολόκληρες σακούλες, σε σημείο που να δημιουργείται πρόβλημα στο σχολείο γιατί παραμένουν εκεί για πολύ καιρό και δεν μπορούν να αξιοποιήσουν τους χώρους τους, θα παρακαλέσω τα εξής σχόλια να τα παραλάβω. Άγιος Πυρίδωνας, Άγιος Παντελεήμονας Χαρού, Άγιος Αθανάσιος Κέιμπριτζ, Αγία Τριάδα Μπέρμιγχαμ, Άγιος Κωνσταντίνος και Ελένη Ντέρμπι, Αγίου Γεωργίου Κίνγκστον, Παναγίας Ελεούσα Νότιγχαμ, Κάρτιφ και Southampton Sea. Σας ευχαριστώ για την προσοχή σας.
Γεια σας και από μένα. Hello to everyone. I'm going to extend a bit on quality framework that is a result of quality education. Is the two previous presentations. I'm going to talk in English so that everyone can understand. I am going to. I'm going to give a very brief historical background of supplementary education in Great Britain and Ireland. Ethnic minorities really work hard to integrate into a dominant society as well as bilingual education. And supplementary schools' role is really vital because they really want to develop the minority ethnic child's cultural identity, the language, the traditions, the customs, their self-esteem and confidence. And they also try to promote the achievement of minority ethnic children in mainstream schools. It's one thing to run a supplementary school and it's another thing to run it to be a good supplementary school. So I think if we manage to provide our children with good supplementary education by supporting the national curriculum and raising academic attainment, by engaging parents in the school and learning procedures, in reinforcing positive identities, providing peer mentors and role models, facilitating community cohesion, delivering community language teaching and exam success, then we can really help our children and schools improve. More specifically, I'm going to talk about the Greek diaspora, which in order to preserve their national and cultural identity and to transmit it to younger generations, they managed to establish some mother tongue classes known also as community or supplementary schools.
And from 1950 that we had the first Greek Cypriot community school in Kentish Town in London, we now run 115 Greek supplementary schools across the UK, and we have approximately 5,000 students. Supplementary schools are held in community halls, churches, schools at weekends, mainstream schools at weekends and after schools, which makes our jobs, I'm talking as a teacher, this makes our job very, very hard. Now, times are difficult and we all need to think of ways to keep our supplementary schools alive. What we can do is to raise funds, raise our standards, raise our achievements, and by this way we can raise the profiles of the schools. This is where quality framework scheme's role starts, and this quality framework scheme is provided by National Resource Centre for Supplementary Education, which is a national strategic and support organization for the supplementary education sector across England. And what the quality framework can do. The quality framework scheme is a peer-assessed, voluntary and developmental quality recognition scheme. Supplementary schools who are involved can gain a quality framework award at bronze, silver, gold and special distinction level. At each of these levels, an award covers essential management procedures, safeguarding, teaching and learning, partnership development and community engagement. By this way, if we go through this quality framework scheme, we can give extra effort, motivation to our teachers, to our students, to the parents who work towards gaining these awards, and this makes our schools more effective. This is what I saw working through quality framework scheme for my school. How everyone can get involved, how you can get involved. There are some steps that a supplementary school can follow in order to learn more and work towards gaining one of these awards, starting from the bronze award. First of all, you can join the National Resource Centre and committing this way to achieve the code of practice that we'll see later on. You can register to work towards quality framework bronze level, supported by a mentor. You will be allocated a quality framework mentor that will work as a critical friend with you to help you gain these awards. Then you will attend, your school will attend appropriate training to develop your school policies. Your mentor will visit your school to witness whether you really implement all of the policies and procedures needed. And finally, if your mentor believes that you are ready to go towards gaining this award, then they will make a recommendation for you. So, what I found really important when I started working on the bronze award is the previous one. Yeah, is the code of practice. I think you can make your school really organized. I mean, the management of the school can be really organized if you follow these 10 sections here. Schools need to be clear about creating an effective learning environment, about teaching effectively, recording progress and achievement, choosing the right resources for the lessons, planning and developing your school effectively, working with other organizations, which is very important, to work on partnerships with other organizations, consulting, monitoring and evaluating your processes, selecting and supporting staff and volunteers, and making sure that your children are safe and be able to manage your finances. I won't go through this. You can find everything. I mean, if you contact, the first step is to become a member of National Resource Center, and then you can get all the information needed. There are a lot of qualified people there to help you. I mean, to see whether your school is ready to go for a bronze award. And then, if you manage to get the bronze award, if you have everything needed, this code of practice, then you can continue working for the silver award, the gold award, and the special distinction award that is for schools with outstanding performance, as Pascal said before. And talking from experience, this is very, very helpful, as I said before, and we need to make sure that everything in our school is up to date, because when I went for, when we had the bronze award evaluation, there was another school there, I remember, and all the documents they provided were out of date, so it was a bit of a waste of time there. So it's good if we make sure that we sustain, we maintain our policies, procedures at the school. Now, then, as I said before, you will be given a mentor to work with you in order to prepare you for these awards. And the mentor's role is to be a critical friend. They will help you develop action plans and training needs. They will provide you with a witness statement so that you know that you are ready for the awards. They will go through your portfolios with you, and they will attend your recognition meetings. I attended the Quality Framework Mentor training, so I'm a mentor myself for the Bronze Award. I'm a member of the Cyprus Educational Mission, so if you want to contact me to learn more, then I'm more than willing to help you and inform you about this quality framework scheme. And the next one, yeah, I'm coming to an end. This is a quote I really like. This is how I finished my PhD, having this quote in mind. Do not wait, the time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Και ένα τελευταίο, όπως είπε και ο Κομφούκιος, ο φιλόσοφος, if we hear, we know, if we see, we remember, and if we do, we understand. So let us all become the ones who do, because there are people who think and people who do. So I think it's better if we transfer theory to practice. We can make more things. We can achieve more things. Thank you very much.
Ορθόδοξου εκκλησιαστικής παράδοσης. Παρουσιάζει ο Αρχιμανδρίτης Βασίλειος του Συνεδρίου.
Στην Ελληνοορθόδοξη Αρχιεπισκοπή Αμερικής, τα ελληνικά παραγγελικά σχολεία και τα εκκλησιαστικά σχολεία, γνωστά και ως κυριακάτικα ή κατηχητικά σχολεία, είναι δύο διαφορετικά πράγματα. Για να διδαχθεί κάποιος ελληνικά, πηγαίνει στο ελληνικό σχολείο. Can you have the light back on, please? Let's not really see. Για να μάθει για την Ορθόδοξη πίστη, πηγαίνει στο εκκλησιαστικό σχολείο, τα μαθήματα του οποίου διδάσκονται στα αγγλικά. Στη δική μας Αρχιεπισκοπή όμως δεν υπάρχει αυτός ο διαχωρισμός. Δεν σκοπεύω να μιλήσω σήμερα για το εάν αυτά τα δύο πρέπει να διαχωριστούν. Αντιθέτως, θα μιλήσω για το πώς τα ελληνικά και κατηχητικά μας σχολεία, δεδομένου ότι είναι ενωμένα, θα πρέπει να λειτουργούν όσον αφορά τη διδασκαλία της Ορθοδόξου πίστεώς μας. Ο Σεβασμιότατος μου ζήτησε να μιλήσω για αυτό το θέμα ιδιαιτέρως σε σχέση με την Θεία Λειτουργία και αυτό θα αποσχολήσει το μεγαλύτερο μέρος της ομιλίας μου. Θα πρέπει να τονίσω εξ αρχής ότι δεν έχω κρατική πιστοποίηση διδασκαλίας, όπως αυτή ορίζεται από τους νόμους του κράτους είναι απαραίτητη για να διδάξει κάποιος σε ένα αθλητικό σχολείο. Έχω ελάχιστη εμπειρία στη διδασκαλία μικρών παιδιών και ομολογώ πως δεν είμαι ιδιαίτερα λογισμένος σε αυτό το τομέα. Έχετε λοιπόν κάθε δικαίωμα να αναρωτηθείτε γιατί μου ανετέθηκε να σας μιλήσω για αυτό το θέμα. Όμως, κατά έναν τρόπο, θεωρώ πως μπορώ να αντιπροσωπεύσω μια σημαντική και μάλλον μοναδική άποψη, δεδομένου ότι είμαι ένας Ελληνοκύπριος γεννημένος σε αυτή τη χώρα. Ποτέ μου ως παιδί δεν πήγα στο ελληνικό σχολείο και παρότι και οι δύο γονείς μου είναι Ελληνοκύπριοι, ποτέ δεν έμαθα ελληνικά κατά την παιδική ή εφηβική μου ηλικία. Ούτε έμαθα κάτι για την Ορθόδοξη πίστη, αν και ήμουν εξοικειωμένος με τις γραφές. Μόνο όταν αποφάσισα να γίνω παιδικός, ξεκίνησα να μαθαίνω ελληνικά. Πήγα στην Θεσσαλονίκη σε ηλικία 22 ετών, όπου σπούδασα νέα ελληνικά για 1 χρόνο πριν να ξεκινήσω τις σπουδές μου στην θεολογική σχολή. Για να είμαι πιο ειλικρινής ή κατά κάποιο τρόπο ανακάλυψη της Ορθοδόξου πίστεως και η επιθυμία μου να διακονήσω στην Εκκλησία ως ιερέας με φέρανε σε στενότερη σχέση με την δική μου εθνική κληρονομιά και την ελληνική γλώσσα, τόσο στην σύγχρονη όσο και στην αρχαία μορφή της. Μέχρι και σήμερα μετανιώνω που δεν έμαθα ελληνικά σε νεότερη ηλικία. Ακόμη αγωνίζομαι να μάθω επαρκώς τη γλώσσα και όπως μπορείτε να ακούσετε, έχω μέχρι σήμερα και μια γελία προφορά όταν μιλώ ελληνικά. Ωστόσο, εξακολουθεί να είναι γεγονός ότι δεν θα μπορούσα να σας μιλήσω σήμερα στα ελληνικά, αν δεν έπρεπε να τα μάθω για την Εκκλησία. Για μένα, η ελληνοορθόδοξη παράδοση είναι κάτι πιο ευρύ από την εθνική ταυτότητα, τον πολιτισμό και την γλώσσα. Τα ελληνικά είναι η γλώσσα της Κοινής Διαθήκης, η γλώσσα των ακολουθιών της αρχαίας Εκκλησίας της Ανατολής, η γλώσσα της πατερικής μας παραδόσεως. Δυστυχώς, στα ελληνικά μας σχολεία δεν δίδεται αρκετά μεγάλη έμφαση σε αυτή τη χριστιανική κληρονομιά. Για μια μακρά περίοδο, η ελληνική εκπαίδευση εστίασε κυρίως στον προχριστιανικό και τον μεταβυζαντινό ελληνισμό. Για τα σχολεία της Εκκλησίας, αυτό είναι ειλικρινά απαράδεκτο. Εάν δεν θέλουμε να διαχωρίσουμε τα ελληνικά σχολεία από τα σχολεία των ενωριών, τότε πρέπει να δίνεται έμφαση εξίσου στην εκκλησιαστική παράδοση και την ελληνική γλώσσα. Δεν πρέπει να λησμονούμε πως η ελληνική γλώσσα δεν μεταφέρθηκε με έναν μαγικό τρόπο από την αρχαία Ελλάδα του 5ου π.Χ. αιώνα στην απελευθερωμένη από τους Οθωμανούς Ελλάδα του 19ου αιώνα. Μεσολάβησε αιώνες λαμπρού πολιτισμού, το λεγόμενο Βυζαντινού, αλλά και αιώνες δουλείας κατά την Οθωμανική κυριαρχία, όπου αναπτύχθηκαν ακόμη περισσότερο τα κατά τόπους διάφορα γλωσσικά ιδιώματα της ελληνικής γλώσσας, ελλείψεις σχολείων και εκπαίδευσης. Η ελληνική δηλαδή γλώσσα μεταφέρεται, αναπτύσσεται και μεταλλάσσεται μέσα στους αιώνες, κρατώντας όμως τις αρχαίες ρίζες της. Δεν μπορούμε λοιπόν να αποσιωπήσουμε το γεγονός ότι η χριστιανική γραμματεία διέσωσε την ελληνική γλώσσα και κατ' επέκταση τον ελληνικό πολιτισμό. Παρά τα περιστατικά καταστροφής στοιχείων του αρχαίου πολιτισμού, είτε από φανατισμό είτε από άγνοια, πολλά άλλα διεσώθησαν και η υπόδειξη είναι ότι τα γνωρίζουμε και τα χρησιμοποιούμε μέχρι σήμερα. Μια σημαντική πτυχή της εκκλησιαστικής παράδοσης είναι η Θεία Λειτουργία. Η Θεία Λειτουργία είναι πρωτίστως κάτι που πρέπει να βιώνεται και όχι μόνο να διδάσκεται. Σύμφωνα με τον θεολόγο Χρήστο Πουνέλα, η πίστη δεν είναι κάτι στατικό που διδάσκεται, αλλά πέρα για πέρα δυναμικό που βιώνεται και μπορεί να αλλάξει από λεπτό σε λεπτό. Τα ελληνικά μας σχολεία θα πρέπει να ισχύουν την συμμετοχή των μαθητών στην Θεία Λειτουργία και την κατανόηση της ίδιας της ακολουθίας. Είναι σημαντικό να υπάρχει συνεργασία μεταξύ τοπικής εκκλησίας, ιδιαιτέρως του ιερέως και του σχολείου. Γνωρίζω πως η Θεία Λειτουργία είναι ήδη κομμάτι των σχολικών δραστηριοτήτων σε πολλές ενορίες, ως άλλωστε όφιλε. Η ίδια η Θεία Λειτουργία είναι κατάλληλη για παιδιά, γιατί είναι πλήρης εικόνων, μελωδιών και ύμνων. Για τα μικρά παιδιά, η Θεία Λειτουργία θα πρέπει να είναι μια εμπειρία από την οποία μαθαίνουν να συμμετέχουν, Θα πρέπει να καθοδηγούνται από το παράδειγμα των μεγαλύτερων για το πώς θα κάνουν το σημείο του σταυρού, πώς θα προσκυνήσουν τις εικόνες ή πώς θα λάβουν την Θεία Κοινωνία. Για τα μεγαλύτερα παιδιά, η Θεία Λειτουργία μπορεί να περιλαμβάνει πολλές σύντομες επεξηγήσεις για τις διάφορες φάσεις της ακολουθίας και τι σημαίνουν. Τα παιδιά θα πρέπει να ενθυμίνονται και να ψάλουν. Για κάποιο λόγο, πολλοί αυτομάτως υποθέτουν ότι η ψάλτικη είναι πολύ δύσκολη για τα παιδιά. Έχω δει και ακούσει παιδιά δημοτικού που φοιτούν σε μουσουλμανικά σχολεία σε αυτή τη χώρα να ψάλουν από το Κοράνι στα αραβικά. Δεν κατανοώ γιατί είναι αδύνατο τα παιδιά μας να μάθουν να ψάλουν κάποιους απλούς ύμνους της Ορθοδόξου Εκκλησίας. Κάθε χρόνο, πριν τα Χριστούγεννα, οι μαθητές του Ορθοδόξου Σχολείου του Αγίου Κυπριανού επισκέπτονται τον Αρχιεπίσκοπο για να του ψάλουν όχι μόνο τα χριστουγεννιάτικα κάλαντα, αλλά και ορθοδόξους ύμνους των Χριστουγέννων. Μπορεί λοιπόν να επιτευχθεί. Αυτό απαιτεί τη συνεργασία μεταξύ ιερέων και δασκάλων. Ίσως μία φορά την εβδομάδα ο ιερέας ή ο ψάλτης της ενορίας να μπορούν να διδάσκουν μια μισή ώρα στα παιδιά πώς θα ψάλουν κάποιους ύμνους και να τα ενθαρρύνουν να ψάλουν τους ίδιους ύμνους στην Εκκλησία. Για παράδειγμα, του Κύριε Ελέησον, του Άγιος ο Θεός, της Πρεσβείας της Θεοτόκου. Έτσι τα παιδιά θα είναι ήδη εξοικειωμένα με τους ύμνους και θα γνωρίζουν τι σημαίνουν. Ίσως πάλι να μπορεί να δημιουργηθεί και μια παιδική χοροδία. Είναι σημαντικό τα παιδιά να βιώνουν την παρουσία τους στην Εκκλησία όχι ως υποχρέωση, όχι ως κάτι που κάνουν παραδοσιακά οι Έλληνες μόνο στις μεγάλες γιορτές ή τα μνημόσυνα των παππούδων τους, αλλά ως την καρδιά της ελληνοορθόδοξης ζωής. Οι δάσκαλοι και οι κληρικοί θα πρέπει να περιγράφουν την Θεία Λειτουργία στα παιδιά σαν κάτι χαμόσυνο και φυσικό, αλλά ταυτόχρονα και σαν κάτι ιερό, διαφορετικό και μοναδικό. Πριν ακόμη πάνε τα παιδιά στην Εκκλησία, θα πρέπει να τους εξηγήσουμε γιατί πηγαίνουν και τι πρόκειται να δούνε. Κάθε σχολείο θα πρέπει να έχει πρόγραμμα ακολουθιών για τις μεγάλες γιορτές της Εκκλησίας. Και θα ήταν ακόμη πιο χρήσιμο αν τουλάχιστον μια φορά το μήνα τελούνταν η Θεία Λειτουργία στα αγγλικά. Όχι μόνο για τους μαθητές, αλλά για όλους τους πιστούς. Όσο πιο εξοικειωμένα είναι τα παιδιά με την Θεία Λειτουργία στην ελληνική και στην αγγλική γλώσσα, τόσο πιο εύκολο θα είναι για αυτά να κατανοήσουν την Θεία Λειτουργία μόνο στα ελληνικά. Το σχολείο πάντα θα πρέπει να ξεκινά και να τελειώνει με προσευχή. Θα μπορούν να χρησιμοποιούνται εύκαιες από την Θεία Λειτουργία και άλλες ακολουθίες. Τα παιδιά θα πρέπει να γνωρίζουν την τους Άγιον προσευχή. Άγιος ο Θεός, δόξα Πατρί, Παναγία, Τριάς, Πατρίμο, και όχι μόνο το Πατρίμο. Μια ακόμη προσευχή που θα πρέπει να γνωρίζει το κάθε ελληνοορθόδοξο παιδί είναι το Κύριε Ελέησον. Και αυτή η προσευχή συνδέει και εξοικειώνει τα παιδιά με την ίδια την Θεία Λειτουργία. Δεν είναι πάντοτε ρεαλιστικό να απαιτούμε από τα παιδιά να παρακολουθήσουν ολόκληρη τη Θεία Λειτουργία, αν και στην πραγματικότητα είναι πολύ συντομότερη από όσο μερικοί νομίζουν. Συνηθίζουμε να μιλούμε για την Θεία Λειτουργία σαν μια ακολουθία 3 ωρών. Αυτό όμως είναι αναπλήρες, γιατί τότε αναφερόμαστε στον όρθο της Κυριακής μαζί με την Θεία Λειτουργία, κάποια ομιλία και συνήθως μνημόσυνα για αποκρασία. Στην πράξη, η Θεία Λειτουργία αυτή καθ' αυτή, ακόμη και με ένα σύντομο κήρυγμα, δεν ξέπερνα τη 1 ώρα και 15 λεπτά. Ακόμη και έτσι όμως για κάποιους ίσως να είναι μεγάλη η διάρκεια. Το δεύτερο κομμάτι της Θείας Λειτουργίας, μετά το Ευαγγέλιο και μέχρι τη Θεία Κοινωνία, θεωρείται το πιο σημαντικό όλης της ακολουθίας. Όλα αυτά είναι λυπηρό τα παιδιά να μην παρίστανται στο μεγαλύτερο μέρος της Θείας Λειτουργίας. Συχνά φαίνομαι τα παιδιά μόνο λίγο πριν τη Θεία Κοινωνία και όταν η λειτουργία είναι κατά τη διάρκεια μιας ημέρας του ελληνικού σχολείου, συνήθως αποχωρούν αμέσως μετά. Με άλλα λόγια, απλώς λαμβάνουν την Θεία Κοινωνία, αλλά δεν βιώνουν πραγματικά την Θεία Λειτουργία. Θα ήταν χρήσιμο εάν μερικές φορές τα παιδιά παρακολουθούσαν διάφορα τμήματα της Θείας Λειτουργίας. Για παράδειγμα, μια φορά θα μπορούσαν να παρακολουθήσουν το πρώτο μέρος της λειτουργίας, με μια σύντομη ομιλία στα αγγλικά για τα παιδιά, μετά την ανάγνωση του Ευαγγελίου, μια άλλη φορά το τμήμα από το χορευτικό ύμνο μέχρι την Θεία Κοινωνία και σε μια τρίτη ευκαιρία από την Θεία Κοινωνία μέχρι το τέλος. Έτσι τα παιδιά εισάγονται σταδιακά στις 3 βασικές πτυχές της ακολουθίας. Την προετοιμασία για να ακούσουμε τον Θείο Λόγο και τα βιβλικά αναγνώσματα, την προετοιμασία για να λάβουμε την Θεία Κοινωνία η οποία περιλαμβάνει το πιστεύω και το πατριμόν και τέλος τις ευχαριστήριες ευχές για την Θεία Κοινωνία. Ό,τι ενέφερα αφορά κυρίως στην εκπαίδευση των Ελληνοπαίδων και των νέων Ελληνίκων της ενορίας μας. Συμπερασματικά θα ήθελα να τονίσω ότι η ελληνοορθόδοξη παράδοση δεν είναι μόνο για τους Έλληνες. Υπάρχουν πολλοί άνθρωποι προσήλυτοι στην Ορθοδοξία, καθώς και πολλοί άλλοι που δεν είναι Έλληνες ή Ορθόδοξοι και έχουν παντρευτεί Ελληνοορθοδόξους χριστιανούς και επιθυμούν να μάθουν την ελληνική γλώσσα και τον ελληνικό πολιτισμό, καθώς και την Ορθόδοξη πίστη. Τα ελληνικά μας σχολεία δεν θα πρέπει να λειτουργούν μόνο για τα ελληνόπουλα. Θα επιθυμούσα να δω τα σχολεία μας να απευθύνονται σε μια ευρύτερη ομάδα ανθρώπων. Επιπρόσθετα στα μαθήματα ελληνικής γλώσσας, ιστορίας και πολιτισμού για τα παιδιά, θα πρέπει να υπάρχουν και για τους ενήλικες μαθήματα νέων ελληνικών και ελληνικών της Κοινής Διαθήκης, μαθήματα θείας λειτουργίας, βυζαντινής μουσικής, εκκλησιαστικής ιστορίας και άλλων στοιχείων της Ορθοδόξης παράδοσης. Αυτό σημαίνει ότι πρέπει να βγούμε από την νοοτροπία του ελληνικού κέτσον και απαιτεί την πρόσληψη ανθρώπων που είναι ικανοί να διδάξουν αποτελεσματικά και με συνειδησία αυτά τα θέματα στην αγγλική γλώσσα σε όσους ενδιαφέρονται για τον ελληνικό πολιτισμό και την ελληνοορθοδόξη πίστη και εκκλησιαστική παράδοση. Ευχαριστώ.
Ελληνοορθόδοξο Σχολείο Αγίου Κυπριανού. Το πρώτο και μοναδικό ελληνοορθόδοξο σχολείο που χρηματοδοτείται από το κράτος του Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου. Παρουσιάζει η κυρία Βασούλα Μπάρον, υποδιευθύντρια του Ελληνοορθόδοξου Σχολείου Αγίου Κυπριανού.
I hope you don't mind, I'm going to speak without a microphone. I'm used to doing that every day in school. But if you wish me to do that, I'm happy to do that. So, is that okay?
Πολύ ωραία, σας ακούμε. Σας ακούμε πολύ ωραία. Πολύ ωραία.
Okay, Theophilaster, Reverend Fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and some good friends. Thank you very much for inviting me to come and talk to you about St. Cyprian's Greek Orthodox Primary Academy. I'm very pleased that we're having a discussion or a conference because as educators, we recognise the importance of having a very long-term vision. And the significance of St. Cyprian's Greek Orthodox Primary Academy is that it's another way of seeing the long-term vision about providing Greek language and the Greek Orthodox religion to our children, our grandchildren, and so on. So they always say never talk after somebody's had a coffee break or a tea, because people tend to go to sleep. If you want to close your eyes and visualise the journey of this particular school and what it offers, please do so. If you want to have a sleep as well, feel free to do that as well. The background of the school, it was set up in the year 2000, and it's situated in South London, in Thornton Heath, near St. Christa Palace. It's under the borough of Croydon, and when it was set up by a group of people who were in education, and in like true fashion of Greeks really, when they're having a nice meal, they tend to talk about lots and lots about wonderful things, and I think the school's concept or inception happened over a Chinese meal somewhere in South London. Those people took the vision of setting up a school that would provide state education to Greek Orthodox children in London. Because they lived in South London, I think that's how the direction of the school went, and it was set up, as I said, in Thornton Heath. It was set up under the auspices of the Archdiocese, because it was set up as a faith school, and in those days it was called a voluntary aided school. His Eminence, Archbishop Gregorius, is the chair of the governing body and quite frequently visits the school. So everything was set up under his guidance and his support. The school started with 67 pupils, all Greek Orthodox, and currently it has 480 pupils. It's 480 pupils strong. In July 2012, the school became an academy. The school's mission and the vision is a very simple and straightforward affair. It's there
like we've heard earlier from previous speakers, it's about to deliver high-quality education to pupils via the national curriculum, but enriched by the teaching of the Greek language and the Greek Orthodox religion. At the moment, St. Cyprian's, Agios Kyprianos, is the first and the only Greek Orthodox primary state-funded academy. I believe you're going to hear something about Apostolos Andreas after me. The vision of the school actually underpins the whole ethos and gives the school its very unique status in the community. It functions, for those of you, and I'm sure you're all aware, about primary schools in the UK, it functions just like a normal primary school, which indeed that's what it is. It's got its head teacher, deputy head. We have about 80 staff, which includes all the teachers and the non-teachers, the office staff, site managers, etc., etc. We have a breakfast club in the morning, we have an after-school club in the afternoon. We've also set up a little gaffanion in our school playground, which is actually a log cabin that we've painted the word gaffanion. But we do sell Kypriakos cafes in the morning to all our parents, as well as some egg and sausage baguettes, if that's what they wish to have before they start their day. The school has a governing body, which the members, because since its academy status, they're now called directors. It has 11 directors. I have with me one of the original founders, who's still a director, Kyria Tali, she's sitting over there. And His Eminence, Archbishop Gregorios, is actually the chair of the school's governing body. Now, as an academy, the school enjoys total control of its budget because it's funded by the state, and it has freedom about what it does with its curriculum and also the way it governs its own school. But within that, it is a primary state school, so there are some statutory things that one has to fulfill. It does have to be Ofsteded, and in 2010 the school had a second Ofsted, which got good with outstanding features. It also has to be Ofsteded because as a faith school you have a separate inspection called the Section 48, and for the religious inspection, which we teach the Greek Orthodox religion, we received 8 outstanding provisions. In all the provision areas we got outstanding. The children obviously have to be assessed. It's a primary school, so the Year 6 children have to have their SATs, which we have to report to Mr. Michael Gove, the Minister of Education. Also our early years has to be assessed, just like you would do in any normal school. And the results obviously have to be published in a league table status. The admissions of the school, we have to comply with the law. There's no way you can deviate from that. And you also have to provide special educational needs provision. They're sort of statutory things you have to do. Now the curriculum is what makes the school quite unique, and you may wish to think of it in terms of what you have been hearing about what community schools provide. We have chosen to follow the national curriculum. If you're an academy, you can create your own curriculum. But however, if you're going to be Ofsteded, and Ofsted will come and Ofsted your literacy and numeracy results, you must be a bit foolish if you don't actually follow what's in the national curriculum. So we do follow the national curriculum. But what makes us unique is that alongside the national curriculum, we have a very heavy-based Greek cultural enrichment program. And that program has been something that the Greek teachers who are sent to, just like I know some of you are sitting here, and I think Ria Eftimia is one of the teachers that teaches us in Greek Cyprians, is here as well. They're sent to us by the Greek Education Mission, and indeed by the Cypriot Education Mission, which I must say a massive thank you very much, because without this support, the program really wouldn't work, because our children are taught Greek every day. They say their prayers in Greek. Where's Father Vasily? I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. They do the sign of their cross in Greek. They kiss icons when we have special celebration days. Everything happens in Greek, and they say their Baderimon in Greek. They've got a little target to learn the creed actually in Greek, which is proving a little bit harder at the moment. But the Greek happens Alongside the teaching of the Greek language, we have Greek dancing, Greek drama, and we teach Greek mythology, which I'm hoping Mr. Michael Gove would be delighted that we're actually introducing some form of classical education to our children. As a primary school, obviously, for those of you who may not know that, we take children from the ages of 3 and we go up to 11. And as I said, a thank you to the provision of our Greek staff, because without their support and their input, this wouldn't be possible at all. And I think this particular year we are going to be part of the Ellinomathia, and we are a centre for the test, aren't we? And we got some of our children, whose Greek is of a high quality, exceptional standard. They're ready actually to sit the first exams in July. All the children, as I said, in the school, they learn Greek and they're assessed on their Greek. We have formulated our own programme of Greek, and actually we've used the National Curriculum Framework for Languages for Key Stage 3, because our children are actually functioning at Key Stage 3 level. Key Stage 3 level is actually what happens in secondary schools. So the teaching of the quality of the Greek teaching in the school is superb, and has been the case since the year 2000. I have only been at the school for the last 7 years. So it's to an exceptional high standard. But the Greek staff have worked out their own schemes of work, and we follow this particular programme, as I have just said. Now the RE, what makes it again unique, the Greek culture, the Greek language, but far more importantly is the Greek Orthodox religion, because it was set up as a Greek Orthodox primary school. So the RE in the school, and maybe that's in Theophilos said in his speech something about Catholic input in the school's setting up of the school. There wasn't any actually, it was all done by us, the community. But at the time, the school didn't have an RE curriculum, so it followed a Catholic RE curriculum. However, we've changed in the last 7 years, that's changed as well. And we follow a program from the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese in America, and we've called it Bistevo, and that's become our RE scheme. So all the children follow this particular topic. To go alongside that, we work very closely with some of our local churches, St. Mary's, Dispanagias for Camberwell, Agios Nectarios, Agios Konstantinos and Hellenic, which is actually within walking distance to the school. Our school, Father Michael's School Church in Welling, and St. George's in Kingston. Those priests of those churches have become the spiritual leaders of the house teams that the children belong to. And they've allocated a colour, so the children wear a special kind of tie if they're in the Gokini or Mother, which is, say, for instance, Dispanagias, Sister Camberwell. Equally so, we have a special rota where those priests come to the school to celebrate special names days and also special liturgies, and Holy Communion is offered to the children. It is offered to the Orthodox children, but obviously if you're not a Greek Orthodox, they just take the Antitheron and they go back to class. We are in constant communication with particularly Father Vasilios, who tends to do the rota, so the priests do come in, but they come and talk about, they do some CPD for our staff, for our children, for our parents actually, and tell them all about the Orthodox religion. The ladies from Agios Konstantinos and Hellenic in Croydon, they tend to come from the Philoptoros. They come every Easter and they help the girls and they decorate their epitaphium. We follow all Greek Orthodox traditions sort of embedded in our religion. Cooking, everything you can imagine, everything that probably you do at home, maybe with your children or your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren, happens in this school. By the staff, who are not all Greek. There's about 5 or 6 Greek teachers at the school. But we do have some specialty teachers who teach art, they teach PE, they teach, as I said, Greek mythology, and they teach music as well. Also, the children are very lucky in that thanks to the Cypriot Education Mission and the Cyprus government, they tend to go, if they're in year 6, when they're about 11 years old, they have an annual trip to the Brotheramos campsite, and they go camping and they tour lots of churches, and they also actually go and visit the Archbishop of Cyprus, who entertains them to a wonderful meal in Validolisa, and they love that. We have lots of global links with lots of other schools. We're also taking part, I think, with the University of Crete, using their software. Okay, the schools won lots of awards, which I can name: Inclusion, the Art Award, the Singing Award, etc., etc. And it has lots of other links with some other local schools who are not of the faith either. Last of all, the children in the school, 480 children, they're not all Greek Orthodox, because when you have places in any school that you set up, I'm afraid you have to follow it up and fill up your places. But we have a very strong admissions criteria, which obviously Greek Orthodox children take priority. So we're a multicultural school, but if you can imagine all those children, no matter what their ethnic or religious background is, they actually do the broader Greek way, they say their prayers in Greek, and they take part in all Greek traditions. There is no opting out if you're a member of that school. I just wanted to end with 3 quotes, because everybody else has said quotes. And I believe we're here to talk about promoting the way forward. And there's a Hungarian thinker, 1908 to 1925, who said, Peter Drucker said, effective leadership is not about making speeches or being liked. Leadership, he said, is about defined by results. And Aristoteles said, it's about leadership, it's about persuasion and not about force. And I just hope that somehow today, or for the future, we can all be persuaded to think of St. Cyprian's as another way of working along with community schools or becoming the future of schools in the UK. Thank you very much.